Hey, I put off recording this one for a little while because it's kind of creepy. Didn't start out that way. I got a nice little email message in my YouTube inbox, and the subject heading was appearing in your next video. And it was from somebody who had been watching my videos on my other channel, on Brizzy Comics, about the hypnosis. And it was, I'm really interested in hypnosis, and I'm in your area, I'd love to be hypnotized, the whole thing. And I thought, well, great, I'm always open to new subjects, that would be fun. And I read the message, and the person who was writing it was describing that, they were in my area, and I thought, okay, first of all, it's a little weird because I never say my area. I only say my home state, Michigan. I don't say where I am specifically. And the person said, well, I was, with my family. We just moved into town. We were looking for a house, and lo and behold, we were on your street, and I looked through the front windows, and there was the living room, the same living room I've seen in so many of your videos, and I knew it was you, and so on and so forth. So I thought, okay, it doesn't sound quite right, but I wrote back. First thing I did actually was I clicked on the return address, the little name that was there, so I could see the person's channel. Were they just a user channel? Did they have a photo up? Anything like this? And there was a couple of videos up that had been posted by this person, not just in favorites, but had been posted by this person. And I wanted to check locations. I needed to say my state or whatever. Well, I was completely thrown because the videos that were posted were vlogs by a little bitty kid. I mean, a little kid. Teeny kid. And, one of these, hi, I did this today, kind of a thing. And I just, what? What is this? And I went down to the profile portion, and the only location it said was United States. But the age said 20. And I thought, oh, really? 20 what? Months? So that was when I wrote him back. And I said, well, first of all, it's weird that you said you and your family are looking for a house and you happen to be on my street. There's no house that's up for sale or rent that, I was aware of at the time. And it certainly wasn't my house because I've lived here for 10 years and it sure as heck is not going up for sale. And so I immediately said that was very odd, and I thought maybe he had the wrong place. He was someplace else and saw a living room that maybe resembled mine. As weird as that might be, with big movie posters of The Shadow and The Phantom and who knows what else. But the other thing, as I said, you're just a kid. Your age is listed as 20, and you've got to be at least 7 or 8 years younger than that, easily. And I said, do you have any idea how dangerous it is to contact someone who's an adult when you're a kid online? Even if they seem nice in their videos, it's like, oh, that seems like such a nice person. You don't know. There's a lot of kooks out there. And I told him this. I said, be very careful, for heaven's sakes. Someone who seems really charming, in person could have a basement freezer full of severed heads. I mean, exaggeration, but you don't know. So he writes me back and he says, well, he's 12. And I got alarms going off in my head. Ooga, ooga. Yeah, I don't get contacted by a little kid. That's just yikes. And he said that he was 12 years old, and so on and so forth, and we should start chatting and so forth. So I immediately write him back and I say, first of all, one, does your mom know what you're doing? Do your parents know that you're online trying to connect with people who are old enough to be your dad? I mean, that's not good. That's not safe. And I immediately told him that chatting was out. Forget that. Not going to happen. I think I flashed back to my days as a youth minister a little bit because I went right into the whole, talk to your parents, for God's sakes. Make sure they know what you're doing online. If they don't get the internet, make it a game and teach them. Put the computer in a high traffic area so your folks see what you're doing and who you're talking to. The whole thing. I just immediately went into youth minister / overprotective uncle mode. I got 6 different, nieces and a nephew. And, that instinct to, protect. It's like, kid, you could be putting yourself in danger. So for God's sakes, be careful. And then I started hitting him with, what road were you on? What city are you in? You know, because all we need is for him to be in Wisconsin or something, and he goes up to the door of someone he thinks is me, and then it turns out it's some guy with a chainsaw. Come in, good boy. And he writes me back with this kind of gibberish, and because I told him, you got to change your profile because it says you're 20 and you're clearly not 20. And he says, well, I can't remember the name of the street. I'm not really good with names. I'm better with math. And I thought, what? And he wouldn't tell me what city. And so immediately, all my antennae were up, you know, beep, 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 beep. And I just thought, this is just not right. So I blocked the kid straight away. This was over the course of like one day. You know, he wrote me and I wrote him back and he wrote me again and I blocked him because it just did not feel right at all. And I just thought, yikes, you know, this poor kid, you know, he's just a little kid. He should know better. This is 2010. I mean, surely, you know, parents and teachers and counselors and things warn kids about, you know, don't go on the internet and, you know, contact strange people. And I know that it's sometimes we get the impression, we see someone on video over and over and over, especially on YouTube. We subscribe to their videos and a new one pops up in our box, you know, or on our page, and we watch them from time to time. And we begin to feel that we know them, even though they're people we've never met. They're in other, you know, cities, other states, sometimes even other countries. So it's really easy to build up that false feeling, oh, this is a great person, even though you don't know them. And then after that was done, I just kind of let it go and, you know, said a prayer for the kid. Please let him talk to his mom. Please let him get his act together. And then afterwards, I had the strangest and most terrible feeling. And I thought, was I just stalked? Maybe stalked isn't the right word, like scoped out. You know, they have these news magazine programs on, you know, MSNBC and things like this, and Dateline and all these others, and they have shows like To Catch a Predator, and they go after these dreadful people when, you know, they cast a line out, some kind of contact, you know, I'm a little girl and I really wish I could be with someone who's like my daddy, you know, and some sick nutjob villain contacts them and then, you know, goes and meets some little girl or little boy in order to have some, you know, unsavory and lurid encounter with them. And afterwards I thought, dude, seriously, is that what just happened? Because I figured it's one of two things. Either one, there's some kid who's way too naive and needs to sit down with his folks and get himself straightened around before he contacts somebody who isn't a nice person. Or two, somebody out there somewhere used this kid, fictional or otherwise, to see if I was a scumbag. To see if I would respond. And see if 12-year-old little boy, and put on my black top hat and my mustache, coming out, tie you to the train tracks, or whatever it happens to be. And that just absolutely scared the crap out of me. That is so creepy. And I mentioned it to a couple different friends, and I thought, well, it's just my imagination running away from me, right? You know, it's just some poor kid who doesn't know any better. And every person I mentioned it to said, dude, that is exactly what it sounds like. It sounds like you were being scoped out. And it's just so unnerving. I hope they're wrong. I hope I'm overreacting. But that's what it seemed like. And that leaves me with the feeling that somebody somewhere, whether it's a journalist or a news organization or law enforcement or some person somewhere, saw me and thought, that's a criminal. That's a criminal. That's a news bag. Let's go get him. Crap. If something like that doesn't keep you up at night, nothing will. I mean, oh my God, how sick is that? So part of me hopes it was the former, and that kid is talking with his folks right now, and they're monitoring what he's doing online, and he's going to be okay, I hope. Because the other alternative? Damn. Gives me the creeps like you wouldn't believe.